Hello, hello, hello. Alrighty. Who is ready for the Thursday Live? Let me know as you guys are joining if you can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if we're live. Leave a comment in the comments if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the replay. Type replay so I can know you guys are catching this training today. Alrighty, we're going to talk about some fun stuff. Last week we talked about, finding clients. And today we're going to talk about part 2 of finding clients, which is probably going to be the most triggering lesson for all of you. So be prepared to get triggered. If you don't want to talk about money, or if money is triggering for you, this might not be the live for you, because we're going to talk about how to find those clients that can afford you. How to find the clients that can afford you. So leave a comment. Let me know if you're here as you're joining me. Let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Sandy. Awesome. We are going to talk about finding clients that can afford you. I cannot tell you one specific coach ever that have ever talked to who's said to me that they never get people who tell them that they can't afford them. Let me caveat that to say I don't know one high ticket coach who has ever had someone say, I've never had someone tell me that they can't afford me, unless they're just not making offers and they've never made an offer before and they've never had to have someone say yes or no to anything ever. Hi, Jackie. So if you're making offers and you never hear people say they can't afford you, it's an indication that you need to raise your prices, that your prices are probably way too low. If nobody ever has an issue with them, there's an indication that there's something out of alignment in your pricing. All right, so let me know if you guys are excited to talk about finding clients that can afford you. Leave me a money emoji, leave me raise my prices. I want to hear if this is something that you guys want more information about, because one of the biggest questions that I had in the beginning was this: how to find clients that can actually afford me, right? Even when my prices were like $1,500, I was still asking myself this question. For $1,500, how do I find someone that can afford $1,500? So we're going to talk about that today, but I just want to warn you, right? If you're in this community, if you're in my world, I'm going to coach you, and it might be triggering. If you have beliefs around money, or if you have any drama around money, then it could bring up some stuff for you. So if you're down for that, if you're ready to grow, if that's something that you are here for, then you're going to love this lesson today, and I hope you have something to take notes with. So leave me in the comments if you guys are ready. I need to know that this is something that you guys actually want to hear about, because I plan these lives for you guys every week, and I'm always thinking about, what do you guys need to learn this week? What do you guys want to hear about? And the only way I can know what you guys want to learn from is if you tell me. So let me know if this is something that you are glad we're covering today, talking about finding clients who can actually afford to work with you. Because at the end of the day, even if you have the best offer in the whole world, if you're putting it out there in front of people who truly cannot afford you, like there's literally no way, and it's a true circumstantial thing in their life, it doesn't matter if you have the best offer for the whole world if you're not getting it in front of the people who can afford you. Does that make sense? Leave me an amen in the comments if that makes sense, and you know that if you don't have clients that can afford you, it doesn't matter how you could be the best coach in the whole world, and the people that need you are not getting to you, and the people who can't work with you are finding you, and everything is misaligned. All right? Awesome. So the first thing that I want to share with you, and this is one of the biggest points around finding clients who can actually afford to work with you. And this is something that we spent a lot of time talking about in OCI because it's this important. So everybody listen up. Ready? Shh. We're going to share something really important right now, okay? One of the main reasons why you are finding that the people who you are talking to, the people, your leads who want to work with you, tell you they can't afford you, or they just can't even afford a coach in general, is because you're speaking to the people who don't want / value high ticket coaching. You're speaking to the people who don't want / value high ticket coaching. Do you know that there's people out there right now that are actually looking for and value investing into a coach, high ticket, thousands of dollars, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 into a weight loss coach to solve their problem forever, and would gladly pay that and wouldn't care what anybody has to say about it because they know they need to solve this problem and they're looking for that solution right now? But there's also, what is also true is there are also people out there that would never pay $7,000 for a weight loss coach, right? So you can find evidence of that and say that is true. But there are also people out there right now who are looking for that. So what is the difference in terms of the people you're talking to? How do we talk to the ones over here that are actually looking for that and want that right now? And the answer is who you are speaking to in your message. And I don't care if this is a message on an ad and you have a system to target those right people. If the message isn't landing, just putting it in front of those people that are looking to invest into a high ticket coach, if your message isn't landing with them, you're going to keep missing those people and you're going to be talking to the people who don't value or want high ticket coaching. So what are some examples of putting your message out there and the message is attracting the wrong people, the people who can't afford you? One of the most common ways, and I want you guys to let me know if this is resonating with you at all, if you feel like you're putting your message out there, but it's somehow not landing with those right people who can afford you. Let me know, because I know I struggled with this in the beginning. I know there's other people out there right now that struggle with this. And that's why the people that you're speaking to keep telling you they can't afford you, okay? So you're speaking to the people who don't want or value high ticket coaching. An example of what this would look like is speaking to things that resonate with and attract people who are looking for tips to solve their problem right now and kind of make their life better right now, all right? There are a lot of people out there that really are looking for not a major life transformation. They just want their life to be a little bit better right now. Or they're thinking about next month. Like one example of this, who can think of an example of someone who's just looking for tips and isn't really looking for a major life transformation? What would be a client out there that's not really committing to a big transformation in their life? What would be something that they would want that is really not that committed, right? It's really not like a serious goal that they have. I can give you a couple examples, but I want to hear from you. What are people telling you when you find out, like, you know what, they're not really that committed to solving this problem? You know, they're not really looking for, I want to work with those serious clients who are committed, who want to do the work, who really want to make a change. I mean, those are the clients that we enjoy working with. We became coaches to work with those clients, right? We did not become coaches to work with the clients who don't show up, who never do anything we prescribe for them to do, who are always making excuses, who are always missing appointments, who don't want to be held accountable. What are some of the things that they say they want? Have you noticed any patterns? Who can think of a pattern of something that someone has said that is an indication that they're not really committing to solving a major life problem? I'll give you guys a second while I sip some water. This is a pop quiz. Pop quiz. I've got some suggestions. Charlotte, that's all I'm getting. Yeah, so Charlotte, what are they telling you? Jackie says meal plan. They want to get rid of their stomach. Yeah. But so, yeah, exactly. So an example is like they want the meal plan, right? And so one of the things, just to use your example, Jackie, one of the things that you could be doing in your message, right? This is an example of I'm giving away value, I'm putting my message out there, and everyone coming back to me is saying they can't afford me. So if you're attracting people who think that the depth of their problem is they just don't have the right meal plan, right? Then if you put out content, you're like, okay, so what they want is they want more healthy meals, they want more meal planning tips, more meal prep tutorials, all kinds of stuff like that. Let me just show them some really helpful ways to meal prep and plan out their day. And then the people who end up like talking to you about your services are like, oh, I thought it was like $50. That's how much I paid for my last meal plan, right? So things that we do in our message have a really big impact in who we end up talking to. If you're talking to people and they're interested in talking to you because your message is filled with like tips and inspiration. Tips could be like, here's my healthy salad recipe or my favorite protein smoothie, and here's a picture of my food today, and this is how I get my water in every day. And you're just really, in general, your heart is in this amazing place where you're just trying to give all of the things away. You're trying to give all the value and all of the tips. But what's happening is giving away tips is like handing out Band-Aids to everyone. You get a Band-Aid, you get a Band-Aid, you get a Band-Aid, you get a Band-Aid. And they're literally bleeding out from their artery because they don't know how to fix this problem on their own. And they don't even know what the root of their problem is. And they don't even know that they have a root problem. They just want Band-Aids. They're like, oh, this girl's giving away Band-Aids. Maybe I can get a couple more Band-Aids for $50. Do you see the difference between speaking to that person who isn't really aware that they have a root problem and they want to get rid of it for the rest of their life? They're thinking about the next 10, 20, 30 years of their life, and they're thinking, you know what? I want to be around to see my grandchildren get married. I want to be around to see them grow up, graduate from high school, walk down the aisle, and give birth to raise a family. And at the rate I'm going, I won't be there. So I need to make some changes. That is a different person than the person who is like, yeah, like I really liked my meal plan last time I did this, but then I kind of fell off. I'm looking for another meal plan. They don't understand that they have a bigger problem and a bigger why for what they should be doing. They're just thinking of like the next 7 days, the next 21 days, next month. Here's another example, right? Going back to Charlotte's example, they want to get rid of their stomach, right? So this could be someone who's like, yeah, we're going on vacation. Maybe this isn't a good 2020 example. Maybe people aren't doing this year. But you'll probably have heard in the past people saying, yeah, I'm going on vacation in at the end of August, and I really want to get rid of my stomach before vacation. Do you think that if you're finding clients that are looking to get rid of their stomach before vacation, those are the clients that can afford to work with you? And again, this is like taking it that layer deeper, right? Does that have anything to do with how many $signs they have in their bank account? No. In fact, I've talked to people that have way more money in their bank account who would never pay for a high-ticket coach, and the person that has a fraction of that amount of money available to them would do anything to be resourceful to work with a coach to change their life so they can have a life 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. So this is why I'm starting with this. This is why this is so important. Who you're speaking to in your message, and it can be really nuanced. You don't even know you're doing it sometimes when you're trying to give away value. If you don't understand the power of messaging and good copy, you could be attracting those people who can't afford you, because if they think they can't afford you, they can't, right? Our thoughts are powerful. If we think we can't afford something, then we're right, we can't. Because we decided, and that's what our thoughts are. And so if they think they can't afford a $4,000 health coach, they're never going to drop $4,000 to get rid of their stomach before their vacation, right? So getting really clear on, or even just weddings, right? A lot of people try to lose weight and shred down before the wedding. That is not a high ticket problem. So getting really clear on that problem that you solve and speaking to that high ticket problem. What is that major life problem for them? What is at the root of it? Because we all know it's not just about the number on the scale and how they look in their bikini on their vacation next month. And if they're focusing on that, they're not ready to invest into a high ticket coach, therefore they cannot afford you. So if we want to attract the people who are ready and who do want to work with a high ticket coach, and there are people out there right now looking for you, wanting that, we just have to get our message in front of them. And so side note, and this isn't part of the lesson, this is something we teach in OCI, is how to target your message in front of those right people and have the right message. Twofold. So we have to figure out how to get what we're saying in our message to make sure we're attracting those people that can afford us. Here's the other thing, and this is another big one that I hear because, okay, so we talked about why messaging is important in terms of attracting the people who understand the value of this change they need to make in their life. Those are the people who are willing and able to afford you. Number two, this is the other thing that we realize is, okay, you know, a lot of the people I'm talking to, they're on budgets, the money is tight, right? People say this all the time. I hear it all the time. You know, money is really tight right now. We're on a budget. We don't have a lot. And so what happens in our brains are problem solvers. So we're going to focus in on the perceived problem. Okay, these people have tight budgets. Where do I find the people who don't have tight budgets? And what happens is we will go. Tell me if you guys have ever thought about this. Have you guys actually ever thought about where to find the people that have the money? Leave me a yes in the comments if you've ever thought, okay, I just need to figure out where the people that actually have money and like can afford a high ticket coach, where they're hanging out. Leave me a yes in the comments if you've spent time trying to figure that out, because we're going to talk about this on step 2. I'm about to give you lots of gold, and I've done this, spent a lot of time figuring out, okay, I know they're out there. I know and I believe, because first of all, step 1 is recognizing that. Some of you might be at the point where you're like, I really don't even know that those people exist. Nobody in my town would ever even spend $1,000. So if your brain is still like, I don't think those people exist, step 1 is recognizing there are people out there right now that are looking for that and will pay that gladly. Okay. Step 2, and this is the stage that I've been at too, is where I'm like, okay, I know if there are people out there because I see coaches signing people who solve the same problem that I solve, and they're making a really healthy income and have these amazing clients that are blowing it out of the water and love them. So where do I find the clients that can actually afford a high ticket coach? Leave me a yes. Jackie says yes. Who else? Have any of you guys actually brainstormed on this? Either in your head or on a piece of paper, like where am I going to find the people that have enough money in their bank account, that aren't broke as all get out, and you know, have like they're about to be evicted. I can't help those people. How do I find the ones that aren't destitute, that actually have money and want like to invest in like, you know, a high-end coach here? Is Jackie the only one? Please tell me she's not the only one. She and I are not the only ones that have ever tried to figure out where those people are. And I'm about to talk to you about this in step 2. So if you guys don't wonder about this, I won't even share step 2 with you because you guys already know what I'm going to say. Taylor says yes and struggle to find that answer. Charlotte says yes. Okay, because I'm going to give you the secret, but I only want to do it if you guys are ready for this. All right? Where to find the people that can afford a high ticket coach. I'm going to blow your mind a little bit, and this might be triggering. This is why I'm spending so much time on this before I just give it to you, because I want to make sure you guys are ready. Okay? And if it is triggering, it's okay. It just means that there's things going on around money in ourselves. I'm going to share with you. This is going to all make sense. Are you guys ready? Hold on to your pants. This is what people do, and this is what I've done, and this is what I've talked to so many coaches. When we try to figure out where the people that have money are, we will try things like going into like wealthy neighborhoods. How many of you guys know where the wealthy neighborhoods are around you? There's probably at least one. I mean, I can think of several around me that are really ritzy, you know, Coto de Casa, Newport Beach, you know, Corona del Mar. There's like homes aren't even under $1 million there. Like, if so, how many of you guys have thought about this? Go to the wealthy neighborhoods, put out your flyers, let people know that, like, go to the gyms there. Maybe go to the ritzier gyms, like the nicer gyms, and put your information up there, because so we can hope and cross our fingers that the people that have money will just somehow find us there. How many of you guys have tried that or thought of that? Like, I'm just going to put my flyers up where the wealthy people are, and therefore, like, that's how I'm going to find the clients that can afford me. What's the problem with that strategy, though? This is the problem that I'm going to bring it back to step one. This is the reason why it sounds logical in our brains, right? Our brains are like problem solvers. We recognize the problem is they can't afford us. How do I find people who have money? But the issue with that strategy is really important for everybody here to notice. If you just put your flyers in the wealthy neighborhoods, how do you know that the people that are seeing your flyers in those gyms, in those neighborhoods, maybe at the spa, at the country club, how do you know they actually want and value high-ticket coaching? How do you know they don't have a vacation planned next month to the Bahamas and they just want to lose their belly for that? It doesn't matter how much money they have in that neighborhood if you're not getting your message in front of the people that want or value high-ticket coaching. Sandy says, yes, I did. This is why just putting out flyers into the wealthy neighborhood and crossing your fingers and hoping that the right people find it is a really disappointing strategy. And also one that you cannot predict, right? Or that they even need your service. Exactly, Taylor. You can't predict that. You can't predict how many people are going to see the flyer that actually understand the value of the solution that you deliver, the value of that transformation that's available to them. They might not even have the awareness around their problem yet, right? They might not be ready for that. So the problem is twofold. One, putting it in front of the people that can afford it. And number two, putting it in front of the people who want and value high-ticket coaching. Now, here is the caveat, okay? And this is going to be very enlightening to a lot of us about our thoughts around money. So I want you to pay close attention to this question. When you think about, right, if you go to the wealthy neighborhoods and you put your information out there, when you think about the person that you want to find that flyer, for example, and reach out to you, in your brain, if you're envisioning someone with like way more money than you, like really someone wealthy, someone way more like into luxury, and just they have got like $50,000 lying around and $5,000 to work with you is like nothing to them. If that's what your brain is thinking, it's an indication to you that there's something in your own mind around investing $5,000 in your coaching that you don't think the average person can do, right? So I want to flip that on you, and I want you to think about this question, all right? Who do you think would be the better client, okay? Client number one, who comes from the wealthy neighborhood and has, you know, a trust fund and all of this money to spend, and $5,000, they spend that on, you know, a pair of Yeezys or however much those are nowadays, right? Or okay, maybe not, like a Birkin bag or something crazy. Expensive, and by the way, another $5,000 on a coach. Or the person who has the ability to get resourceful, doesn't maybe necessarily have like $5,000 just lying around, but can come up with $5,000 if they get resourceful. It's a stretch, it's scary, probably one of the scariest things they've done all year or in the last 5 years, but they understand the value of this transformation, and they're no longer able to wait and put their health and their life on the back burner. They need to handle this problem now, and they join your program. Who do you think is going to be the better client, get the better results, and thank you for it at the end? Serious question. I want you to answer in the comments. Client number 1, who's got the Birkin bags and the trust fund, she's in the wealthy neighborhood, and will give you no price objection, just enroll into your program. Or client number 2, who could afford you, but it was scary, it stretched them outside their comfort zone, and they grew like crazy in your program. Taylor, client number 2. Yeah, what do you guys think? I want to hear everybody else's thoughts. Are you guys like, no, they both probably get the same results. They're both going to do the same amount of work. They're both going to be just as committed. They're both going to place the same amount of value on this work. Serious question. Think about that. What do you guys think? Client number 1 or client number 2? Charlotte, client number 2. Yeah, client number 2. And so the only reason, right, that we want to attract the people with money is maybe we just don't want to have the uncomfortable conversation with people. Jackie says number 2. Yeah, if we feel like we know it's going to be uncomfortable for them, and we have to coach them through that, standing with them through their fear when they're scared and their palms are sweaty and they're like, I don't have $5,000, but I totally need you. If we don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation and we're not willing to get uncomfortable to talk about money because now money's involved, it's an indication that there's some work that we need to do on ourselves. Which brings me to point number 3. All right, I told you guys I was going to trigger you guys on money. Right? Because we all want to work with the clients that come from the wealthy neighborhoods that never give us an objection. We never have to deal with rejection. They never have to tell us our prices are too expensive. Anything that would make us question our value. We just want people to say yes all day long, feel amazing about it, and be happy all the time. Right? But that's not where coaching happens. That's not where growth happens. When our clients aren't uncomfortable and we never have to coach them or hold the space for them. Okay? But we have to be solid in our own minds around the value of the work that we do if we're ever going to be able to hold the space for them. Okay? Your clients need you to be able to do that for them. Number 3, all right? Number 3, who's enjoying this, by the way? Give me a thumbs up if this is valuable for you and if this is shifting your thoughts about how to find clients that can afford you. And if maybe you've thought they're someplace they're not, or maybe you've been thinking about it the wrong way, and now you're understanding why just finding people with money doesn't mean they can afford you, right? Number 3, you guys enjoying this? I'm having fun today. Number 3 is that you don't understand the value of resourcefulness, all right? I'm flipping it back on you guys. You don't understand the value of resourcefulness. So if you are looking for those people that have money so that you don't have to deal with maybe any rejection, or they don't have to say your prices are too expensive, and it's just going to be an easy conversation, it's a layup, no objections, they're taking out their Amex right now and they're in, right? That's an indication that you don't have the belief that your clients have the ability to get resourceful. Right? And so one of the reasons, and this is the biggest one, right? There's a couple reasons this could be happening, but this is the biggest one for a lot of us, is that you haven't done it yourself. If you're like, I would never do that, I would never spend $4,000 right now because I know I don't have it, right? And I'm not going to commit to it because I know I'm not going to have it. 30 days from now, I'm not going to have it. 60 days from now, I'm not going to have it. 90 days, I'm not going to have it. I'm definitely not going to have the money. These are things that people say all the time. People say this to me all the time too with money. Oh no, I definitely know I'm not going to have that second payment in 30 days. Well, you're right. If you believe that, you're right. You're not. You know why you're not? Because your brain has already decided you're not going to have the money in 30 days. Therefore, you've just shut down your brain's ability to go create resourcefulness in your own life. You could go come up with a second payment this week. But if your brain is saying no, then you can never find the solution. This is what happens with your clients when money comes up. So if you haven't done it yourself, you're never going to be able to walk your client through this part of affording you. When their brain shuts down and they're like, $5,000, I only have $1,500 in my savings. Sorry, can't do it. If that's how you would react, if you would have that same thought and be like, I don't know, I don't have the money, sorry, you're never going to coach your clients to be able to afford you. This is a really important step. You actually have to grow your brain on the skill of being resourceful, right? What does that mean? That means your brain is actually trained and you've grown the muscle, right, of creating solutions, like coming up with 20 solutions, 20 ways right now. Let's go. If you don't have that, if your brain isn't so in tune with that skill of resourcefulness, then when you bump up against the belief and the resistance and the fear of a client who's having a resource problem and they need to get resourceful, you as the coach aren't able to stand up for them in that moment. This is, I told you, if the first two aren't triggering, this one will be, because it's uncomfortable to learn this skill. Because in order to be in the place where you have to create resourcefulness, it requires a lot of discomfort, because it means you don't have something that you need, right? Or you don't know how to do something that you've committed to. And now you have to go out and get resourceful to make it happen. There's no room or space for I'm comfortable, this is really cush, like it's just gonna happen. It's like, no, my brain needs to go to work now to create that result, all right? So that could be one reason, is you just haven't done it yourself. And number two, and this is the bigger reason, because some of you have done that. Some of you are like, Valerie, I have had to throw down money when I haven't. So I know the value of getting resourceful, but my clients just, I don't know how to get them to see that and do that same thing in my program. So the second reason that this could be happening is that, and this is something to dig deep into, but you aren't sold on the value of your program. You aren't 100% bought in and sold on the value of your program, because I want you to think about this. In order for you to stand with them in their fear when they're freaking out and they're like, it's $5,000 to change my life, I totally know I need this, but maybe nothing I've tried's worked, all the limiting beliefs that are coming up, and all of the evidence in their bank account that they can't afford you. If there's a shadow of a doubt inside of you that's like, yeah, I know you're probably not going to want to spend $5,000 right now. Like, you're going to be really unhappy with me if you do. If there's a shadow of a doubt in you that you're not sold on the value of the transformation available to them, if they do this, even though it's scary, even though it stretches them, then they will never come over to your side and get resourceful. You will never be able to coach them to that. It's like you're over here in their fear freaking out for them with them. And more so because you're also nervous now to disappoint them about the value of this thing that they say they want. You've just told them how amazing it's going to be, and what if they're disappointed and they had to go out and use money they don't even have to get into it? This is going to bring up all of your fear and beliefs around, what do you really think about the value of your coaching? What do you really think about your pricing? It's going to bring all that up for you. So, but this is why we are coaches. If we're not willing to get uncomfortable, to have this conversation and stand in that discomfort and be 100% certain that the value of the transformation is there for them if they go in on it with you, if they step into it, and stand with them and be uncomfortable to hold that space for them while they're over here having drama about it and freaking out, then they'll never enroll, right? And if we're not willing to get uncomfortable, how can we expect our clients to get uncomfortable and do something that requires resourcefulness and stretches them so that they can afford you? Most of your clients that work with you are those clients, and again, these are the ones we want, who are stretched, who do have to get resourceful. Those are the ones that are going to have a massive transformation in their life and thank you for it. So if that's true, that means we have to be willing to deal with a lot of discomfort and know that there's discomfort and be okay with that negative emotion and sit with it, because we're sold on the value of our program. We know we have to have this conversation with them about it, because that is why we are coaches, to make transformation in lives. And those are the people that need it the most, not the ones that have a closet full of Birkin bags that probably should be investing $20,000 to get the transformation. But if they don't value high ticket coaching, they won't. Does this make sense for you guys? So it's twofold, right? It's twofold. It's not that everybody out there could be your client. They just need to see the value. It's who are the ones that understand the value of high ticket coaching? Are we putting our message in front of them? Okay, number one, you have to be able to find those right clients. Number two, is the message you're using actually landing with them? Because even if, say, you run ads to them and you put it in front of those right people, if that message isn't resonating, everything that they hear from you isn't clicking for them, that this is a major life problem that you're solving, then you're going to attract those wrong people as well, okay? And number three is going into we talked about the wealthy neighborhoods and why that is not what compels someone to buy. Having money doesn't equate valuing this investment. And number three is digging deep into ourself and our own brain's experience around understanding the value of resourcefulness, whether we've done it in our lives, whether we understand the value of our program and how important it is for them to learn this skill of resourcefulness so that they can have this transformation that's totally available to them. We've just laid out the clear path that we're going to take them down to get them there. It's totally available to them. They just have to say yes to this transformation and become resourceful with you. We have to be so solid on that. Because if there's any wavering in that leadership there, they will always revert to the safer route. They will always revert to the status quo. And how disappointing is that for them if they walk away from that opportunity with you? Because nothing in their life is going to change if they don't invest in a coach to help them. Because they don't know how to fix this on their own. That's why they need you. And that's why it's our job as the coach to understand how to find the clients that can afford you. So if we're thinking it's coming from all of these other things, it's like our brains are over here focusing on the wrong things. We're missing the clients that can afford us and that need us and want us right now. All right, my friends? Leave me a heart emoji if this was valuable for you today, if this helped you think about this in a different way. Jackie said, yes, never thought of it this way. Awesome. Yes, you guys, your clients can afford you. You need to have a way to put your message in front of the people that are looking for it right now. Make sure it's the right message that's speaking to those people, and have done the work on yourself as the coach to stand with them and say, hey, listen, nobody knows how scary and how nervous and how sweaty you are right now. Because listen, I've been through this path before. Totally get it. And I know what's available for you on the other side. I also know what's available for you if you stay on this path and you keep going this way and you don't make this change. If you take my hand, I'm totally going to walk you there. I'm totally going to walk you to the other side. That's what they want. When they're scared, they need that leader. So that's why step number 3 is being really solid on that resourcefulness for them. How many of you believed them when they say they don't have money, and how many of you are like, no, hun, we're going to figure out a way. There is always a way to afford this. If this is what you need to change in your life, we're going to figure out the way. Let's do it. 20 ways right now. We're going to come up with the way. All right, my friends. We talked about money today. I know this is always a hot button issue for people because people are raised with very different experiences around money, abundance, value, what it means to ask for certain prices, people with money, people who don't have money, asking for money to help people. All kinds of beliefs that we have inside of us are going to affect this actually finding clients that can afford us. All right? All right, my friends, let me know. Again, leave replay in the comments if you guys are catching this on the replay. Let me know if this was valuable for you, my friends. And I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.